Welcome back to the potty.
Many college students struggle with mental health,
Yet campus services often fail taking control and reaching out to students.
making it essential to implement regular mental health check-ins for all students and create community-building events to help encourage connection and support. Over the past couple days, we've taken some surveys and some interviews with students around campus and off our campus that don't even go to UMHB, just to kind of get the statistics and logistics, same thing, of whether or not counseling services are accessible, or if they're difficult to access, or if you even know how to access them. And we got a lot of different feedback, as you can tell.
So we're going to talk a little bit about each one and kind of the questions that we asked, and then we're going to give our own little answers of the questions and stuff like that, just so that there's kind of a wide spectrum of things. And then we also have some information from 2 articles here. One is going to be titled "Student Mental Health is in Crisis. Campuses are rethinking their approach," and the other one is titled "College Students' Mental Health is a Rising Concern."
And that's going to be by the CCA.
And the first one's going to be by American Psychology Association.
So the questions we went around asking students on our campus was if they knew how to schedule a counseling appointment. Do you know how to schedule a counseling appointment?
I personally do not know how to schedule a counseling appointment. Do you know how to schedule one?
Yeah, I do. It's going to be through the Navigate 360 app, which looks like this.
So we did get a couple of mixed reviews from this one. We're going to put the survey in first so you guys can kind of see what the numbers are. And then we're going to add a few video responses of what some students had to say around campus.
Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Do you know how to schedule a counseling appointment?
Yeah, I think so. You just go to my campus thing, and there's a section in there where you can go to counseling and press something to schedule it.
Okay. Do you know how to schedule a counseling appointment at your university?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know how to schedule an appointment at UMHB? Counseling appointment at UMHB?
I do not.
Do you know how to schedule a counseling appointment at UMHB?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how to schedule a counseling appointment?
Oh, I don't. No.
Okay. Do you know how to schedule a counseling appointment?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay. Do you know how to schedule a counseling appointment?
Yes.
Do you know how to schedule a counseling appointment?
Yes, through the Navigate app.
And one of the other questions that we asked the students around campus was, if, in your opinion, how could UMHB help students get more involved with each other? How do you think that UMHB could help students get more involved with each other?
I think there could be more opportunities for students to get involved, like in the quad and stuff like that. We have a very, very big space in the quad, and then the area across in front of chapel. I feel like putting more games that aren't really like faith-based, just things for students to do out in the quad. Like cornhole, maybe like a big tic-tac-toe, mini golf, something that gets students more engaged with each other, that can get them out of their rooms, just to do a quick little 20-minute game with a couple of friends and meet more people.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like a lot of the things that UMHB does is more faith related, and I feel like if you're not so deep in your faith, it can be kind of uncomfortable to take that step and go out, especially if you don't know anybody,
Right.
and going alone. So I feel like more unfaith related events can bring students together. That way when there is faith related events, they have more of a crowd to go with.
Yeah, like a community.
Yeah. What about you?
I feel the same way about that, honestly. I feel like our campus in general and the staff around here could definitely implement more activities just to socialize.
I feel like in the beginning of the year we're required to watch the Title IX stuff,
Yeah.
but I feel like to get counseling resources more out there, I feel like we should also be required to watch something about the counseling services.
The clips that are about to play are going to be the results and answers that we got around campus for that question. In your opinion, how could UMHB help students get more involved with each other?
Help get more involved with each other?
Yeah.
Maybe be more like verbal about when things are happening, because like I only know an event is happening when all my parking spaces get taken.
Right.
That's how I learn something is going on.
Yeah.
And in your opinion, how could UMHB help students get more involved with each other?
They put on a lot of different events, and you can be a part of a bunch of different things on campus, and there's something for everybody.
Okay. In your opinion, how could UMHB help students get more involved with each other?
I think having more organizations for a greater demographic. I think it's mainly for believers, and I think that it could be easy for non-believers to not feel included in a lot of the events on campus.
And in your opinion, how could UMHB help students get more involved with each other?
To get more involved with each other, I think they do a really good job of little things like Welcome Week and other things like that just give opportunities to bring people together. I think it could be almost advertised a little bit better and really shown that hey, this is something you want to go to. Because I remember when I was in Welcome Week, it was hey, this is something that I want to go to because I want to meet people. But there were some times where I didn't want to meet people, and it was just I don't really want to. I don't want to go because it doesn't seem like something that would be very fun. So almost a little more order to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. In your opinion, how could UMHB help students get more involved with each other?
I think campus events are always a good thing, but also just encouraging students to be involved in their building activities. I know RAs put a lot of work into planning events, and I think it's just a good way for students to get involved with other people in their building. But also, I know that us RAs like to take students to events. So if a student is hey, I want to go here, but I'm kind of scared to go by myself, just letting them know that their residents are good people to reach out to, and we're happy to step in and take them.
I'm going to pull from the article, Student Mental Health is in Crisis, Campuses are rethinking their approach. On paragraph 11, it states, following an evaluation, many schools employ a steep care model where the students who are most in need receive the most intensive care. I personally feel like that can be taken the wrong way, because a student that is obviously reaching out for help hit a point in their life where they feel like it's necessary to get help. So I feel like if we're implementing something where if your problems aren't so extreme, you don't get help first, that can make the student feel like their problems aren't so important as other people who might be suicidal as of right now. You know what I'm saying? Right. With only 2 counselors at UMHB, with UMHB having over 3,000 students, there needs to be something deeper. There needs to be something deeper. There needs to be more staff.
No, yeah, I get that. And from the same article that you're talking about, it definitely states nationwide the average annual caseload for a typical full-time college counselor is about 120 students, with the centers averaging more than 300 students per counselor. And given that we only have 2 counselors, that's about 1,500 students per counselor. So,
which that can go back to our problem statement where counselors should be reaching out to students, because a lot of students don't know how to take that first step. If a counselor has over 15,000 students, it's going to be impossible for them to reach out to every single one of them. Mm-hmm. And then, going back to what I said, if they seem like problems are more extreme than others, it's going to be okay, let me push this person over this person, right, which I feel like is going to just stress them out more. Mm-hmm. So there needs to be something where there's more counselors getting hired.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And then you mentioned something about Jason Palmer. Did you end up interviewing him?
I did, yes. He's the Dean of Spiritual Life and Chaplain, I believe.
Jason Palmer, everybody.
Okay, how do you, as the Dean of Spiritual Life, feel, if any way, that being Christian, or the older way of thinking of being Christian, can kind of shadow mental health in teens nowadays?
Yeah, I don't think that being a Christian has to be in tension with our receipt of solid mental health services. As a combat veteran and retired military officer, I have personally been the beneficiary of mental health services in military capacities, had diagnoses following combat, and have been able to manage those symptoms with the help of mental health professionals, and also integrating my own theological framework to help me make sense of some of those things that have gone on in my life. I think to suggest that faith and mental health are in tension with one another is a false dilemma. I think that faith can absolutely be synchronously experienced alongside solid mental health, provided that the mental health has some Christian or Christianizable assumptions that allow a Christian to be able to participate in it without compromising the boundaries of faith and orthodoxy as the Bible would teach it. So I think the two can complement one another well.
And then aside from asking staff, again, we did ask students, and a couple of those questions, we're going to go over them and just kind of talk about them and show some of our interviews that we did regarding these questions. So if things get overwhelmed at school, do you believe that UMHB has a good community or staff to reach out to? And if you do, why or why not?
I personally am 50-50 with it, but we did interview Jeremiah about this one. A gentleman that goes to UMHB, we interviewed him, and he had a very great response to this question.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and
Roll that
do
clip.
his clip, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. If things get overwhelming at school, do you believe that UMHB has a good community or staff to reach out to? Why or why not?
No.
No?
Nah, because like everyone's like, just like find people to help you. Literally everyone here just keeps their head down and tries to pass.
Yeah.
So that's not really an option. And like, you can go to the writing center and stuff, but I feel like most people feel lesser if they do that. There's only
Right.
like a small chunk of people that actually use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how comfortable do you feel seeking help from UMHB resources, like for counseling or whatever? Do you feel
I mean,
comfortable?
I wouldn't, just because like it's a school, they're mandatory reporters, but
Yeah.
for people with like lesser issues, you
Yeah.
know, maybe just stress or anxiety or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm sure it would be great.
So like Jeremiah says, I feel like the staff that is, and majority of them, like he said, they're mandated reporters, so you could just genuinely just be needing to reach out and saying like, hey, like I'm just really going through a hard time, can I have an extension on this assignment? And that can be blown out of proportion and now you're on suicide watch,
Right.
which I've personally experienced. Not here, but being in high school, I posted a TikTok and it was just supposed to be, casual, funny, cute, whatever. And I was called into the counselor's office and I was put on suicide watch. And that was just, it was so belittling because it's like, are you really watching my every move like that?
Yeah.
But when I genuinely need help, it's like nobody notices.
I definitely get that. I feel semi-comfortable. I feel like UMHB as a whole has good staff because all of the professors here are God-centered and just kind of like they have to be a Christian in order to be lecturing at this school. So I feel like the community would be good, but it's also, I'm kind of 1 foot in and 1 foot out about that because of the mandated reporters and all of that. It's kind of hard to gain that trust with somebody, especially if you know they're mandated reporters, meaning they can literally just kind of clock you. They can just go and tell your business to somebody else, and now it's not within yourself anymore. You tried to share the information to get it off your chest, and it ended up being shared further than you like, and it's kind of draining. It's definitely degrading sometimes. So just suppress that and thug it out, Swin. Just kidding. How comfortable do you feel seeking help for UMHB resources?
I personally wouldn't
Yeah.
do it. Majority of the reason because a lot of these professors, like you said, they walk with their head down, and at the end of the day, I don't know them like that. And I'm very sheltered when it comes to even telling people that I know my feelings because I'm supposed to be like the happy family, whatever, So I feel like not knowing a lot of the staff because they don't make it a point to get to know their students, that it's just kind of like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
So I don't feel comfortable talking.
Like sharing my business.
Exactly.
Yeah. We asked students around campus the same question, and a lot of people had mixed reviews and just opinions on that, so we're going to go ahead and throw some clips in of them answering this question.
So how comfortable would you feel going to find help with the UMHB counseling services?
I would feel very comfortable. I haven't, but I wouldn't have a problem with it.
How comfortable do you feel going forward seeking help from UMHB resources?
I feel very comfortable. 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Would you feel comfortable seeking help with UMHB resources, like counseling services?
Oh yeah, for sure. I just never have looked in to figure out how to go to counseling. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
How comfortable would you yourself feel seeking help from UMHB resources?
Pretty comfortable. I've, like I said, gone to counseling services a couple of times myself.
Okay.
It's just a good way to keep your emotions in check. And when you feel overwhelmed, it's just a good place to go and sit in. and be helpful, but also there's, like I said, other people around campus that are just really willing to listen to you, and they really just pour into you and show you the love of Christ really well.
So aside from those clips, personally, I feel like I would be comfortable seeking help. I just think that that's not really my cup of tea. You know, I'm gonna vent to other folks before I vent to people here, because I always feel like doing something through the school is going to be held over your head regardless, just because there's like a track record in that sense. I mean, you have to sign up for counseling appointments, you have to do all of that, so I wouldn't be too comfortable, but I'm also not shying away from it. And then we also asked students if they've used UMHB resources or counseling services and how would they rate their experience. We're going to go ahead and pop in the clips of the people that have used their resources and what they got from it and their experience from that as well.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the help that they provided, the staff?
I would say an 8. Yeah.
How would you rate the help that they provided you on a scale of 1 to 10?
10, for sure. I loved my counselor. She was great, and it was always just a good, comforting, safe place to go to.
That's good.
So going back to the article about students' mental health is in crisis, campuses are rethinking their approach. In paragraph 3, it states that the problems of counselors being, the caseloads being too high are almost like they don't think that staffing more counselors could get them out of the problem, but I personally disagree, because if you have 3 or 4 counselors emailing and texting and getting involved with students, seeing how they're feeling, seeing if they need to reach out, while you have 3 or 4 counselors bringing people into their offices, you can get a lot done in that, because a lot of people will be like, no, I'm good, I don't need to come see you in person, thank you for the email, this is how I'm doing.
Yeah.
If people genuinely need help and they're appreciative of the reach out and they come to you, then you do your job. So I don't know. I feel like they need to do a better job of reaching out to students.
Definitely. Yeah, I think they need to verbalize it a lot more too. Maybe put some stuff around campus, on the doors, or something to that sort, because it kind of like gets to the point where the student kind of feels more alone in that sense, because nobody can really like see them. And especially with our counselors, we've heard a lot of great feedback of like how they treat our peers, and all of that stuff. So we've heard a lot of good things, but it was the fact that you have to reach out first, and sometimes that can be very difficult. A lot of people do struggle with reaching out, so it's really not that easy. It's easier said than done in that sense. And one of our articles, though, it does mention, I'll go ahead and quote this. This is going to be on page 2 of the CCA, College Students' Mental Health Rising Concern. In conclusion, addressing the mental health needs of college students has never been more urgent. While the research above sheds light on the depths of these challenges, it also offers the opportunity to develop the ability to deal with stress and grow as our young adults rise to meet new challenges. As the demand for support grows, the CCA, which is Christian Counseling Associates, stands ready to provide reliable, professional, faith-based counseling, ensuring that students can not only survive but thrive during their college years. That is a really heavy statement, honestly, because it literally says that the mental health needs of college students have been basically on the incline, and there's a lot of things that fall short every single time. The CCA has took it upon themselves to provide reliable resources and professional faith-based counseling and all of that stuff. As the CCA does that, it doesn't really impact everybody. As UMHB, our counselors, as students here as well, we don't really get that reach out or like that hand just to be able to pick us back up when we're down. We don't really have that reassurance from UMHB either about their counseling services. But this paragraph really just assures the tone of everything that we're talking about today, and all of the words like urgent and stress and grow and develop the ability, all of that. It gives a sense of passion towards the subject of mental health, and I think that's really important to understand, that there are people out there that want to care, and there are people out there that are reaching out. You just have to open your eyes a little bit, so walk with your head up.
Going back to the article that I've been talking about, student mental health is in crisis, campuses are rethinking their approach. On paragraph 22, it says, faculty are taught that a sudden change in behavior, including a drop-in attendance failure to submit assignments, or deceived appearance may indicate that a student is struggling. I feel like nowadays we are kind of more prone to fake it in a way, and then like you were talking about last night, when you had scheduled your appointment and you had missed it, if you want to like retouch on that and explain like
Oh,
how you felt when they didn't reach out again.
Yeah, so a while back there was a little mental health crisis going on. Love it. I did reach out to the counseling center. I had an appointment scheduled for the next morning. Your girl didn't wake up on time, and I just wasn't trying to go, so I kind of backed out of it. I was really anxious to go as well, so that played a big toll on it, a big factor. And
why do you think you were so anxious to go? Is there a reason?
I just genuinely like didn't feel comfortable talking to these random people. Like I have no idea. Nobody's ever been like, hey, you know, you're new this semester. They have a record of who's coming in spring semester. Check in on the people that are just now coming in. Just like reach out that hand. Like it's really not that hard. And I'm not saying it's that simple either, but like you got a job to do. You get paid.
Yeah.
I'm, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay, so before I was really interrupted by my Canon EOS T7. No, I was just talking about my counseling appointment. My camera kind of just blew up on me. But anyways. And I'm not saying that you need to blow up my phone every time, all the time, 25/8, 24/7 a day, whatever the freak. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, hey, maybe reach out and check, hey, is she okay? I mean, she didn't show up to the counseling appointment. I didn't hear anything back from her. Like, let's do that little double take, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you get paid more than I pay for my tuition, guy. Like, come on, like, lock in. No disrespect, though, but I'm just like, clock it.
No, clock it, definitely. I agree with that because there has to be a reason. Clock it. But there has to be a reason why the student didn't show up for their appointment. And whether it was I slept in or I didn't want to go or
I was anxious or
whatever, yeah.
Whatever.
It's your job to know why didn't my student show up to a counseling appointment. They reached out, so clearly they need help.
Yeah,
so
obviously.
let me just forget about it because they didn't come. Like,
and it's crazy
okay.
because I genuinely didn't want to schedule that appointment anyways. I had one of my favorite teachers in the world, Miss Townsend, talk to me kind of like through a little mental health day that I was going through. I was really struggling, and she was like, she sent me the link. She literally sent me the link to schedule a counseling appointment. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
so another teacher from somewhere else
sent me the link because
Wow.
I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know if we did it. I didn't know how much it would be, any of that. Like I just got the link and I was like, okay, I get it. I'll do it, whatever. And then I did it. Didn't go through the first time. I did it again, and then I finally got a call, and then you're 5 minutes, or 5 minutes for counseling appointment, and then I got an email. Didn't reach out after that. So I mean, it's just to me, it's like I feel like they have different priorities, and the first priorities is not the students.
Right. And
the last question that we ended up asking students though was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your mental well-being? And here are all of their answers. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your mental well-being?
I'm a fun person for that. Let's hit them with a 4.
A 4?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be generous.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your well-being right now, mental well-being right now?
A 9.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your mental well-being as of right now?
10. I love you, MHB.
No, like right now, like mentally, like
10.
okay.
And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your mental well-being right now?
I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty tired, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good. I've just been really involved, so.
I would say a 9.
A 9? That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be doing pretty good.
Okay.
And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your mental well-being right now?
I'm an 8. I'm doing pretty good.
So, with that being said, we're gonna kind of have a conversation now about it. Would you rate your mental well-being right now, especially with everything that your next chapter brings for you?
Okay. I have like an iffy answer. Okay. So when it comes to the situation that I'm at right now, I would say mentally I'm at a good 7. I'm not the complete worst, but I have those days and like where I'm overwhelmed and I'm drained. Like literally just yesterday, I could have told you I was at like 4, and that would have been insane. But like today I'm doing a little better. I feel like my faith has grown a lot stronger too, just with my circumstances and everything that I've been given. I really relied on God to help fix me, and when I'm down, like I just kind of go to Him so I can come right back up. So yeah, I mean right now I'm at a solid 7. Today's been a good day, so that's probably why. Yesterday was, yeah.
Yep.
How about you? What would you say your mental well-being is right now?
I'd say I'm at a good 7 or 8.
6, 7?
7?
6,
7. I enjoyed my experience at UMHB actually. I had a sibling go here before I came here and he hated it, so I was really debating what my experience at UMHB was going to be like. And I love it. I love it.
Love.
But yeah, I'm doing really good right now. Kind of stressing out with finals and stuff like that.
Right.
But I do think that professors in that aspect are really good at that. Like if you tell them that you're struggling or you need help studying or anything, they're really good at helping you find resources for that. So I mean, I'm pretty good right now, but you know, it's a
definitely
it's a wave.
It's a
So
roller coaster for sure.
it can go anyway. But there is one question that I wanted to, or a couple questions I wanted to ask you from the survey that we gave everybody, since they're like 2 different questions. So, do you think that mental health goes unnoticed a lot of the time?
I definitely feel like yeah, definitely. Do you?
I do actually. I think nowadays, like I said earlier, that it's so easy to put on a front and put on a
to fake it
face.
till you make it.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
And I feel like the more you fake it till you make it, the more you suppress it, and the more it ends up coming and biting you in the.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So I definitely feel like it goes unnoticed, but I feel like the students who have, or anybody actually who has genuinely struggled with a mental health problem is really good at pointing them out.
Yeah.
Like I can see someone and I'm like, girl.
No,
you're
like
going down a
literally
bad
on my
path.
literally on my off days, you're like, are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm already taking a 3-hour nap, so staff doesn't take a nap.
And it's like I can see a student and I'm like, girl, you're heading down a wrong path, so let me interfere now. But I feel like a lot of people are completely blind to the fact of what's going on, or they just don't care.
Some people don't want to be helped.
Exactly.
It sucks, yeah.
So I feel like it goes unnoticed, and it's a problem that definitely needs to be resolved ASAP, no Rocky. So this is the answers that we got from those. We're just gonna put a little clip of what people had to say about that. And then to finish off the podcast, the question is, what advice, if any, would you give to yourself or someone that is struggling reaching out and getting help? You should go first. I should go first. Okay. I would say taking the first step of reaching out is kind of like a breath of fresh air in a way. It's like getting through the worst part of the storm to see the rainbow at the end, you know? I feel like surrounding yourself, shout out to a good friend of ours, Pascaline, bad...
Oh, it's in the Bible, but yeah, bad company corrupts good character.
Right. When she put that on her Instagram note, it definitely stuck with me and you, because it's like, if you surround yourself with people who are drinking, smoking, in a bad place, you're going to be in the exact same place.
That's all you're ever going to desire. Yeah.
So I feel like surrounding yourself with good people, as well as just taking the first step. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. Somebody actually in the survey said even a stuffed animal. Like, to just get the thoughts out on paper or anything, just take the first step. Like, it doesn't even have to be going to a counseling appointment. It could literally be grabbing a friend that you've known your whole life, or even somebody that you know that has struggled with these problems before. They would be the last person to judge you because they know.
Right. Today has enough worries in its own, and I just kind of feel like that's so valid, and that would be the advice that I give to somebody is, don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow hasn't come yet. Worry about today, focus on what today has for you, and like I said, tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Furthermore, mental health is a rising problem, and it's only going to continue to get worse if the people who are supposed to be the resources and supposed to be the leadway are not continuing to help students.
I definitely agree. So that's what I'm going to say.
And I think thanks for coming to the potty.
I think we should fix that. No, I really think that we should fix that. So if UMHB counselors come across this video, genuinely, bro, in the most respectful way, I love you with all my heart because Jesus loves everybody. But y'all gotta do better.
So to conclude it, basically the solutions that we have in mind is helping students get more engaged with each other. That way they feel like they have a community with UMHB, and
counselors reaching out to students will be beyond helpful. And then if counselors, again, if you're watching this, if you do see someone that scheduled an appointment and then doesn't go to it, maybe reach out and ask why. Maybe reach out and try to get a deeper understanding of what's going on, because a lot of the time that's going to be more helpful than just making them feel ignored.
Thanks for watching the potty.
Many students. Okay.
Oh, that's like a.
Oh, that's like, Mama, that burn. Hey.
Yes!
And don't worry, everything that you want, it'll come. You'll win some and lose some, but you'll appreciate life with every rising sun. You can stop the endless run. Live in the moment and be happy now. You have a lot to be thankful for. There's no need for the internal war. Stop being so hard on yourself.